It is 3 o'clock, and I'll call this meeting to order. We'll start the meeting with privilege of the floor. I see we have a guest visiting. Is there anything else to say?
Hello.
No, do you have a topic?
No, I don't. I'm
Okay.
just listening.
No problem. Then we will go to approve the minutes of October 10th. I had a few things.
Thank you, sir.
I think my biggest thing was that Margaret seconded something.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Line 170.
170?
Yeah.
I'll take the obvious for 25. Line 60, it will be a 3-week long this year, but expecting to be a little bit odd. 82, practice between owners, transferred as a practice. I think we knock out between owners. It's kind of redundant. Anytime
It's
a property is
transferred.
transferred.
Yep.
And then maybe at 85, rephrase that as well.
Is to,
I don't know how to put that, but just,
I'll rephrase that.
okay. Then what else did I? That was about it for me. Rich?
Just a few very minor. Line 53 should be scheduled. Line 103, I think it should be alternate, not affirmative. And line 152 should be any. You're missing the line. And.
I'm sorry, Rich, what was it?
152.
152?
Any. Just missing a line.
Oh, no. Okay, great. So I will make a motion to approve the minutes of October 10th as amended. Is there a second? Second. All in favor? Aye. You're done. Okay, financial report. Anybody have anything they noticed out of the ordinary list?
You assume I know what you're
General assistance, the back up from last time?
Yes, there was a payment for housing that we did. It was a one-time thing, and it should not be a recurring issue.
All right. Do you see a trend that we might need to budget more as far as
Yes.
going without?
Yeah, we'll talk about that during the budget, but I think
Okay.
we should plus that up.
All right, and also we are, discussed that one already last week. Health hospitals,
We're done for the year.
yeah, it's just our donation was due then.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And we will be, in the next couple of weeks, making our final payments on debt service.
Okay. Great. Rich, anything in finance?
No.
Margaret, what about you?
No.
All right, we'll move on. We have a calendar review. We know that there's a party on the 2nd of November. That's a Friday evening, correct?
Yes,
All right, the election is November 6th, so we should probably pick our hours. Our polls are open 11 to 7 again, is that correct?
yes.
I'll take the late shift.
Yeah.
Do the counting and signing.
All right, which would you prefer?
I can do the middle again.
All right, I'll do the opening.
So that's,
You're
you're gonna do 11 to 2?
I think that's what.
11 to 2, then 2 to 5, and
And then
5
I
to
have
close.
5 to close.
So I'll have two.
All right, the planning board is on the 8th. I had a question from a citizen today about the proposed changes. Is there another workshop? Is that sometime in November?
Yes, the
November,
November planning board meeting, they're gonna work on a or a revised set of wording. And then they're gonna move and have another public hearing in December. So that would be the November 8th. meeting.
Okay,
Will be when they come up with the revised language. And then December, I believe it's,
okay. There's another workshop in
Whatever
November.
the second.
But that'll be publicized.
it'll be a public hearing and it'll be.
That'll be it.
And then they will vote on the wording at that time.
Okay, our next meeting is on the 14th. Is everyone available? All right, great. And the FY19 budget town meeting
I
schedule.
will have that out to you tomorrow or
Okay.
Friday.
All right, great. We will move ahead to department heads. Why don't we go with Chris first in case he has to get out of here?
Solo today. Well, Kevin. Everything's going as planned. I was in charge of the TAP grant for the town, this isn't public safety related, but I went to the preliminary, not a conference, but informational session, which was required. Long story short, the deadline came and went, we didn't submit,
And
because,
what was the tap grant for?
it's the,
Potentially for
Yeah,
the
no, I just
walk
wanna-
around,
record.
the walkway around
Right.
Corcoran's Pond.
so it was basically a resubmittal of what Tiffany did last year.
Okay.
But at the meeting, we scored dead last year.
Yeah.
Not because of the application or
It was
the,
meat.
The
Yeah,
need
right.
and the type of
so what we learned is that the projects that are getting funded are projects that people have started on either side of town. And if they want to connect the projects together, it's all about transportation.
Yeah.
So if they want to connect them together, those types of things are getting
Right.
funded.
And our transportation thing doesn't really help anyone as far as employment and things like that. It's
That's
more,
that's correct.
So they had $36 million in application requests, and they only had
5.3
5.3 for the whole
million in
state.
available
So,
funds. So we did not been successful. But we wanted to let you
Yeah.
know
just in case.
that that's over.
Dave's finishing up his vacation this week. Public Safety Academy is done for the year. Other than that,
Did any of the public go up the 100-foot ladder?
they got a ride. Yeah, we didn't go all the way 100 feet, but they got a ride. And I've still been, that's the other thing, I've still been in touch with brokers and dealers and stuff, looking for other options.
okay, great. Did you get hold of Tim's friend?
I still haven't yet,
Okay.
but I'm working
Yeah.
on it. I have subscribed to a national database that you say what you want or what you
Right.
need, your specs, and it goes out to brokers all over the country. So,
That ladder truck is still over in Tenny Mountain.
yeah, I saw that. Oh, and that's, yeah,
Speaking of that,
speaking of that, there might be another one over there.
Ours?
Yeah, it won't be there, but we've talked to obviously dealers. Nobody wants it. Obviously, it's no good. So we're looking at scrap dealers now. And we got a call from the scrap dealer in Bristol that is potentially interested.
And how much do you think it would be worth in scrap?
$150 a ton.
And what does it weigh, 8 tons?
It weighs about 65,000 pounds.
Oh, good.
30 tons.
30 tons.
So,
So we're gonna get about $3,000, $4,000.
just as a lark,
Yes,
see if the mountain wants it for a jump. Is
As
when they
like a-
build the boneyard and stuff
Yeah,
like
as
that.
a,
That might be a
as a
cool,
structure.
kind of thing to carry the town legacy on.
That would be really cool.
Well, I know they brought buses and things up there
Yeah.
before to use to stage the boneyard for events and
Yeah.
stuff like that, so. It
Yeah,
might,
that would be
for
really
the short amount of money we might get for it.
Right.
That might be something. kind of
so
cool.
we'll look into that and then if we get a scrap dealer who tells them, my concern is I wanna get it out of here before snow. I don't want it to be stuck back there in the parking lot. I know, if you look around the mountain. So if I email you, if we get do you mind if we do that by email?
Yeah.
As far as any price that he might give us?
Yeah, but I think if we're going out with an independent dealer, we should try to put out some kind of bid or some kind of document to it as opposed to just going with one person on it.
Okay,
Because we might have someone who might want it for a higher or better use. Just because it's not a junk truck, it's,
I mean, it runs.
yeah, so. Are there any of the tires worth saving? Will they fit on the new thing? Any other things worth pulling out that we have?
We've looked at the tire, we're in the process of looking at the tires for the solid waste truck.
Oh, do they fit? Potentially.
Potential.
Yeah, I would just hate to see us sell something
Mhm.
and have to replace something in town for something that
Right,
costs more. than we
no,
pulled out.
we've started that process.
We cut some of the windows and.
No, that's what I don't want. I don't want our own boneyard out back.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that, but I just hate to see it go.
Okay,
Okay,
we'll keep working.
that's cool. All right, anything for Chris? Okay. All right, hi Brooke.
Hi. Let's see, we have our Halloween party coming up this weekend. Starts at 3:30, goes to 5. It's gonna be a little bit chilly weather, but they're gonna be walking this year again. Gonna end up in Town Square for the trunk or treat.
Are they doing the lodges again too, or lodges?
Yep,
or-
we are gonna provide a list of participating lodges so that we can hand them out to the kids and families, so that at 5 o'clock, when our activities are over, they can go out, trick or treat, and end up in Town Square at 6. So,
And are they doing buses for kids now?
we're not doing buses.
Okay.
And we're doing trunk or treat, so there'll be stuff in Town Square
Yeah,
when
the
we get there.
Town Square condo, yeah, organized that piece. So it's kind of a nice collaboration.
Good.
The WVRA annual meeting was last night. Just the new officers and
And who are the new officers?
Sean Stout and Leah Elliott. And Brenda from the Golden Eagle was not reelected. So we'll see. We have those 2 new people on board. We also looked at a bus, a Microbird, an updated version, kind of the 2019 version of what we have currently
It's in the CIP.
in the CIP. We looked at that.
And how much is that gonna run?
56.
56,000.
And
It's actually lower than what's in the CIP.
Yeah, and is ours really on its last legs or dead or?
It's having some problems. I mean, lots of lights have been on ever since I came here. It won't seem to go off. The doors are having a hard time opening. It needs to be
Yes, it
updated.
is a hard time opening.
Okay. all right.
I
just-
nearly lost a finger when we went geocaching, so yes.
all right.
Yeah.
No, just,
Yeah, no, I think it's time, but we do have $90 in the CIP apparently.
90,000.
$90?
I mean, 90,000.
Oh, boy.
We have 90,000 in the
Yeah,
CIP, so it's gonna be
All right.
lower. We're putting that together.
All right, let's just do our research and be able to explain our actions.
Absolutely. That's all I have.
How about after-school stuff and the rest of it? How's that going?
After school program is going great. It's Monday, it's been Monday through Friday. The kids are,
And you have a lot of kids?
yeah, we have plenty of kids. Yeah, it's going great.
And are they pre-buy kids or just coming as they come?
We have them signed up in advance now.
Okay.
We started doing that a couple years ago so that we are basically getting payment before the start. If they needed to break it up into payments, we gladly break it up into payments.
But you know it's for staffing.
Oh, yeah, we're fine for staffing. That's our,
And pickleball is continuing to.
yep. I sent out an email yesterday regarding some changes for pickleball, which everyone's gonna like. The gym class is moving to the mornings, which is gonna open up the 1 to 3 spot, which they like on Wednesdays and Thursdays. So now they're gonna have it Monday through Wednesday, 1 to 3, starting in January. We also told them what our plan is for the outdoor courts, that those are done and painted, and that we're waiting for the school. They're gonna purchase a storage box, and we're gonna provide the nets, and it's gonna be, located in the storage box. They're gonna bring their own paddles and balls. It's first come, first serve. So that was all outlined for them in the email, and they all seem to appreciate that.
Rich, anything? No? Margaret?
No.
All right, thanks, Brett.
You're welcome.
All right. We want to go through some more stuff and get back to Jim, because we got some interesting, really important stuff to talk about today with Jim. So let's move ahead to the tax rate setting for 2018.
We have the draft
So, yeah.
rate here. This rate that is shown on this sheet of $14.14 per thousand is if we leave all of the revenues exactly as they are, we do not use any additional fund balance
Right.
over what we have
And we're
done.
at 1425.
We're at 1425 currently, so I outlined some information for you, just a comparison with the 2017 numbers. And gave you some information there about how much additional fund balance to get to $14 or even $13.90 if you want to go down that far. In any case, whether we leave it alone or whether we go down even as low as $13.90, we will have a fund balance that will be between, our remaining fund balance that's between 11.3 and 12.6% of our current budget.
Tell me what that is in dollars. I know
In
you
dollars,
figured
it's 691,828,
out.
or if we leave it alone, 771,162.
Right, and we're lower, we're usually up around 9.
We're usually around 850.
But we have been in the 9. So
We have been in,
a question I have is, I see the county tax has gone down. Is there an explanation for that?
it's just our share of the county
Yeah, but
tax.
what has caused the county?
I don't know whether it's increasing values in other towns or whether it's a decreasing budget.
Right.
But it's probably a mix of those two. Our property values, the rest of the property values around us have tended up a little.
Right.
So it may be that our share of the total is going down.
I was concerned that the state education and county are
They're indicators.
anomalies.
Well, no, they're indicators of our valuation.
Oh, no,
compared-
I understand that, but, so we don't know if those are gonna stick at that.
Oh, no,
I think it's
we
not,
don't.
not the norm.
No.
So my initial thought would be 14 is very little.
That's the way I feel about it too. I think we should try and keep things as level as possible, and to come in with something that's already slightly lower than our prior tax rate, I don't think we need to make an investment at this point.
Yeah, that was my thinking as well. Right? Okay, so we all concur.
Okay, we'll leave
How do
that.
you feel about it? Okay.
It's really, yeah, it's fine. It's
I-
the rate's going down, so, that's fine.
Okay, do we need a motion?
Yes, if you could just move to set it at 1414 and we'll leave it alone and we'll submit that to the state.
All right, do I hear a motion?
So move that we adopt the tax rate of 1414.
And do I hear a second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
So we're gonna do tax rate. Which should make everybody happy.
Well,
Those
except
are-
for the people whose values went up, they're not gonna.
Well, if their values went up, their taxes went up. They still don't. All right. Great. The Osceola Road maintenance request.
So Alan Sabladnik.
Okay, Margaret, are you up to speed on this? We got a request.
Yeah, I read through everything, yep. And he had actually contacted me or sent me an email, and I told him to talk to Mark about it, and find out what the lay of the land was.
So he gave you the additional comments on that email that he wanted me to share with you.
Right.
Here after this last night. Jim has looked at it. Our concerns are that it does not meet the width specs. It has no shoulder. Section that we're talking about potentially putting the town meeting to accept. There's no turnaround at the end. Jim and I even discussed the winter maintenance side, with the type of arrangement like we have on Moose Run, but we wouldn't even recommend doing that because there's no turnaround at the end. And it's
And this
just
run,
not,
they just go through a loop.
they just go up around the lollipop.
Also, he's saying on here that he thinks that the non-conforming factors also apply to the rest of Osceola Road. Now, I walk that road every day, and it seems to me there are wider shoulders. Further down.
There are shoulders.
Yeah,
So-
they're shoulders and they're wider than
If
they
you-
are up beyond the turnaround.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah. I think it's the same issue we have in Moose Run. It's the first part is fine as far as that, but that second part is.
Well, because Moose Run was built just like this. It was specifically built for the town maintenance to end, and then the condo associations would begin. So I don't think it was ever intended for us to, this is just like the path through the parking lots at Windsor Hill. It's exactly the same thing.
Yeah, well, my thought is to inform him that, as we've discussed, that we're not prepared to create a warrant article, but it's within his right
That's right.
and per se to create his own warrant article and present.
And he can do that by petition.
Yeah, exactly, it's like the dog warrants. And, Yeah, I don't think we're punishing them.
Right.
No,
I
I
think
don't
it's-
think so either.
This is not punitive at
It's a
all.
different circumstance, than throwing down the road.
Yeah.
It's different conditions.
Okay? And I'll let you know what the reaction is.
Okay. So if it's okay, we'll skip down a few of these old businesses and then get to the zero sort recycling. That's a biggie today. Town entrance project, looks like it's coming along.
Looks like it's coming along. Steel is tentatively scheduled to be set on Monday. I just learned.
That's the cross member?
That's the cross member and the final 2 columns on the roadside. And once that is in place, then the electrician can wire things up and the mason can finish his portion of the work. And then we'll work our way out of there and get the site cleaned up and get some of the ground rocks in place. And I've been told by Sparky from Wood and Wood Sign, the designer, that he's quite impressed and quite happy with the mason's work at this point. So it's, by the end of next week, things should look a lot
Any
better.
concerns that you have going forward?
That's great.
I think it looks great.
Yeah, I think it's really gonna impress people. And we're gonna have delivered on the first part of this project. We've talked about this. Might give people some enthusiasm for getting behind what we will propose coming up to town meeting next year to extend the signs. Yeah, no, I think it's better looking than I thought it would be. It's really the way it's cut in, the way it's set. Good. Great. All right, dam project, they were there today, or is he coming in today, or?
We haven't seen him.
I ain't seen her,
He didn't
haven't seen
show
us
up.
all.
I called him and left a message. He hasn't called me back yet. I don't know what happened. No emails. So I don't know where he is. I'll let you know when we find out what happened to him, but
Oh, he was gonna come in.
he was gonna
today,
come in
was,
today,
right?
do another
But
site
then he
walk.
was gonna
And then he
start
was
on
gonna-
Monday, right?
Yes, he is. Well, he hasn't
That's
sent
the
us an
first day of
email. That's the
mobilization.
mobilization day.
Okay.
So
All right.
maybe he'll show up tomorrow.
He did return the phone call, email.
We'll see.
Okay, how about the people on well number 3?
Actually, they're the same people who are doing the work upstairs.
That's
So I need to talk to you about the work, the drainage improvements. So when they were walking and doing the final planning for the drainage, we talked about, Chris had to leave, but we talked to the contractor, to Lee Johnston, about going in front of, originally they were gonna go right by Dave's window and cut the pavement. They talked to us about going on the other side of the ladder truck bay, the first bay, and doing drainage from that door, including into the work that we're doing right now. And so they can shape it, because we're getting some water back into that bay. And so we would like to cut it down, and we would like to include an additional 600 square feet of pavement to what they already are doing for work.
Is this inside the building?
No,
No,
it's
outside.
out
So you're gonna
in
do
the park.
a periphery French drain.
Yes, and we're,
And wasn't
right,
that the plan to do the whole building?
no, I'm sorry, no, it's not the peripheral French
Right.
drain, it's a
It's just,
membrane that's gonna be up against the building.
Right.
And we're gonna take the water down this hill better. And we're gonna shape the pavement so that it drains better from away from the front of the building.
So what you're saying is you're going to the end of the building here.
Yes,
The
right
end
out
of the
here.
building here, you're gonna cut how far away from the building and pavement?
Well,
right up to the building.
Yeah, but how far out?
to the start of the corner, to the start of the downhill. And we're gonna
So
reshape.
is that the width of this or is the width of that? Is it 3 feet?
Well,
Is it 6
Can we
feet?
just walk up there and
Yeah.
I'll show you?
Well, it's also, Whoever's doing this, they've got the expertise in this.
Yeah.
How they say-
But there was additional money
Oh, I-
from what you
I
approved.
understand that.
Yes.
But what I'm saying is, if we go for the additional money based on their expertise, I don't know, I had French drains in the house that worked fine. I know they put it in, it was inside work fine. I don't know about shaping or any of this.
Right.
My question is, if we give them the extra money and they say this will work, will they stand behind it? If we get water in, they'll come back and we.
Lee will stand on
And how much more is it?
5,700. And we have 33,000 remaining.
This isn't going to affect the ladder truck's ability to get in and out of the
No.
Well,
garage.
it should improve.
It actually, because we're cutting it down.
Well,
The
that's
truck
good, you
fits.
know, because
The
there's
truck
like
fits.
4 inches
Yeah,
there.
but the truck fits, well, and that's something else is the winter, getting the water to drain better from even in front of that door, not even the water coming into the bay, but to get the water away from it will keep ice buildup from happening. So I think that it's a better way to do it.
I don't wanna get revolutionary here,
Yeah,
but wouldn't they think of putting drains in front of all the bays if they're gonna cut there? And have it, drain like grapes or drains like I've done, Does that make any kind of sense, Jim? If they're gonna be there.
You could, but you're gonna spend another,
The idea is to do it right. The
Right.
idea is, this is this a lark shot for this 5,700? You think it'll do this? But if you spend 57 and another 5,700 for drains, well, we be sure it does. Let's do it right.
with the whole idea of what this is doing is it's making an impermeable surface so that the water drains off on the surface to an area away from the building.
Right, but if it settles like my driveway has, it's gonna settle with little puddles and things like that, where you might have, just as the pavement settles and stuff, a whole strip of puddles that will become ice directly in front of the door.
Well, that's what we're trying to avoid because that's what it's doing now.
No, so there's my question to make sure, because no matter what we do going forward, this is gonna be public safety and these
Yes,
vehicles are gonna be
absolutely.
in.
Mhm.
So, am I out of line with that thought or not? Or are these vehicles too heavy to come across a drain system? Just
Well,
the weight of those things
you're
on their
you're
truck?
getting into some pretty heavy
Yeah, no,
rates. And then you're gonna need a
It's supportive,
structure
yeah.
and it's gotta be 6 feet deep and it's gotta be
All right, this is what I need to hear.
frost,
Yeah, that-
it's gotta
gonna
be
be
frost
very
free so it
expensive.
doesn't freeze.
I don't know how
I
it works,
mean,
I'm just
yeah.
throwing an idea out.
It would be like putting drainage in on a road, in a roadway, you put it deep enough so it doesn't freeze in the winter time, so it actually can function.
All right. But for the $5,700, they'll come back if it doesn't work. Good. We need a motion for that?
Yes, please.
I will make a motion to extend the contract to expend no more than $5,700 in additional funds to work on the drainage problems for this building. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. All right.
So I'll number 3.
They're gonna finish up with this work and it's the same, Lee Johnson is the contractor for that. So he will be out there end of this week or beginning of next week.
Is Doug in the same thing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Doug and Ross and Lee. Yep. So there's been no change to our last report other than we have a date for them to be physically out
Have we been doing any water testing?
there. We stopped, we did it up until the
The light
beginning of
was,
September, and we haven't done any since.
And
the
those are
beginning
all
of
coming out
September.
okay?
They were coming in, we had the one spike, but other than that, they were better than they had been before. Yeah. So, Emery and Garrett recommended that we stop testing until we get the impervious membrane in.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
we're moving forward.
All right, July 4th concert update.
Well, I sent you something in hopes that when the committee comes back in that this is the appropriate information that you want signed from the two condos in order to release the $10,000. I'm trying to help them get to the point where they can come in and request, and this will be satisfactory to the selectmen.
Yeah, my question is, what do they need the $10,000 for? If they've raised all this money, why?
No, that 10,000 was part of what they counted.
Oh, I understand, but their expenses, I would think this concert would be not as front loaded.
Well,
But it's just my guess, that's, you know, and I'm still concerned on who do we get it back from if it doesn't go through?
you get it back from the Ray Center.
Okay, does Chris tell us it wasn't the Ray Center?
No, it is the Ray Center. It's the Ray Center and the New Hampshire Music Festival that are entering into a contract, okay? And as part of that contract, the Ray Center has set up a separate account to put these funds in. And any funds other than those that have been contributed by a couple of key contributors are subject to being returned to the donors in the event that the concert does not occur. Because there is a requirement, because the New Hampshire Music Festival wants to have a good faith requirement in terms of, yes, you have this money in an account, okay, as of a particular date. They want to sign that contract in December 10th.
Okay, so you're not spending on anything. you just
No,
have to
we're
show
not
good
spending
faith.
it. We have
Okay, no,
to show good faith.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's fine,
that's
just as long as
yeah.
that's explained to you. And I did send a couple of questions to you back on
Right,
that.
right.
And those should probably be answered in these discussions, where if you're gonna have to run power across, it's not a problem. And if you have to store equipment and vehicles, there's not.
Right, a couple of other things. Mark has sent me a picture of the electrical connections that are available there at Packard Field behind the shed. And so I'm going to get together with the concert person and show that to them and make sure that that's sufficient for their power. And if not, we're gonna have to work on generator or something to that effect. With respect to the staging of the vehicles, it's going to depend to some extent on the weather. In other words, obviously they want to transport these pieces of stage the least amount of territory as possible. And I kind of envisioned it as a thing where the vehicles would be staged on the Golden Eagle parking lot to the south end, and they could get them in between the playground and the shed. But it's going to depend on the weather in some ways. It's going to depend on how soggy the ground is and some of those kind of things.
It's just the thought that if they have to leave a bunch of trucks, because you're gonna have staging trucks, you're gonna have lighting trucks, you're gonna have sound trucks. And that could take up the whole south end of the parking lot.
Right, and
Unintentionally.
yeah, and what I'm gonna do with this letter, I'm working with Craig from the Ray Center on this. What we're gonna do is that we're gonna send a cover letter to the presidents of each association, and we're gonna tell them exactly, here are the things that could be going on.
Cool.
And after they've read that letter, if they're okay with it, we ask them to sign it.
Cool.
Okay?
It's fine.
Okay, so I'm hoping that one of our meetings in November, I'll be able to come back with the signed letter that Craig has gotten. We'll be able to go forward from there. Okay.
Great. All right. Everybody ready to put on thinking caps? Zero sort recycling. It's come to this and we knew it was good.
So right now, we have been paying $39.96 a ton to dump our recycling material at that plant. We pay $63.56, something like that, for our regular trash.
And how much
And
are we doing each year? Do you have that number?
yes, I do. Let's see. I did.
It goes up and down.
So it goes up and down, but we have, as of the end of September, 518.5 tons of trash, which has cost us so far $33,000, and 112.4 tons of recycling, which has cost us $4,500. So the letters the wording in the letters and the emails that I provided in your packet, that $39.96 a ton is going to $116 a ton.
Right.
Effective immediately.
And we did how many tons again? 55 tons of recycling?
No, 112 so far this year,
112 recycling.
yes.
Okay.
And which, actually, we're doing a better job. This is kind of ironic, but total for last year, for all 12 months, was 112.8.
Yeah.
So we're already, with a quarter to go.
I think we have
That's
done
all. Yeah, maybe.
Recycling.
Yeah. So, so my question to you is, what do you want us to do? Because the obvious to us is to just take everything up as trash.
Right.
But there are some issues, as I outlined in the memo, that I think that's gonna be confusing to people if they see us picking up dumpsters and mixing stuff on
Well, we
the
also
truck.
have to let people know.
And we
what
have
we're
to
doing.
let people know that
As people-
we're gonna do it.
The question is, you talked about single stream versus sort recycling. Like,
So they're the same. Single stream is zero,
no, I said, or sort.
or sort.
So
Oh, yes,
the-
yes,
The
right.
question I have, and we just have to know the answer to this.
Yeah.
I'm not a proponent of this.
Yeah.
Is if we got into sort recyclable, would there be a chance to be able to sell or do anything which would offset the cost?
No, right now Campton Thornton is
Yeah.
having a tremendous problem.
Yeah.
They can't sell any of their
And
material.
Plymouth has the same problem.
Plymouth is probably having the same problem, but I've talked to folks at Campton Thornton.
Well, I sit on the board for Hemi Baker Solid Waste District, and I can tell you all of the
Yeah,
towns in the district that's the topic of discussion is what can we make money with? And to make up for what
Yeah.
we're losing money on, and they all need more storage facility because the market is not there, and they're paying more money to get rid of stuff, and it's really it's pretty much a nightmare right now. And for the unforeseeable future. I mean, there's really nothing telling that the market's gonna come back on any of these products.
So if we go to just the one truck, we have to send the one truck every day.
No,
So, no, I'm just talking about
And
savings.
we're actually going to
Right.
save money because we're making more trips, if you
Oh, I-
remember,
right.
because of the
Yeah.
recycling
Yeah.
not being able to mix.
The alternate each day.
So we're going to have hopefully heavier loads and fewer
Exactly.
trips. And that was part of my question to you was, we can go back to that prior to recycling schedule.
Right.
But that will mean that we'll have to mix dumpsters.
Yeah, I got that. Could you run this, and it might be easy, it might be hard.
Yeah.
But a thought I would be, first of all, how much more it's gonna cost to continue with what we're doing versus what our savings are going to be if we are not running the truck as often because we are not doing
Yeah.
that. And we are selling our recyclables as trash. We're paying to have our recyclables done as trash at $60 a ton as
Yeah.
opposed to $160.
Right now, okay, so in 2017 total, right? We paid approximately $50,300 for both recycling and trash disposal, right? The tipping fee. If we go to the 6356 with our current trash levels, we will need to budget in 2019, we'll need to budget about $54,000.
So
So there's only a
$4,000.
$4,000 difference. And that doesn't take into account the less wear and tear on the truck and the less gas. And so it's gonna be a very small number in the scheme of our
Right, no, but that's
total
what I was trying to
operating
get.
budget. So there's not a whole lot. But the issue, that 53,000 is calculated on the 63.56 a ton.
Mhm.
And I would imagine that will increase in 19. So that number will go up a little bit. But we would be paying that anyway on the majority.
No, I don't wanna pay what is 116,
No,
3 times what we're paying now.
But the savings on the truck and, see, my concern is we have an educated earth eco-conscious community.
You know,
Where, as we looked before, I remember when I went to the Preston Thornton board, when I went to see if we could use their facility. And they were just discovering how bad it was, where they were a lot worse off than we were.
Right.
That, yeah, I think we need to get some strong numbers to support this, including, and I think foremost, manpower in the truck. Because if we look at it, if we take 50 tons and we double the cost of what it took for that 50 tons, which was the 112 tons of recycling,
mhm.
only another $5,000, right? Yeah,
It
in,
would,
in raw cost.
just in tipping fees.
Just in
costs.
tipping fees.
Yes.
So if we said, just if we made the argument that it was a $5,000 difference, people would go, we want to feel better about the earth, it's only $5,000.
Yeah, but on December 31, they're not even gonna take the 116. They're gonna make us put everything in the trash.
Oh,
So
I
even if
didn't- I
we-
didn't see
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, so,
I
so.
missed
Yeah, the
yes,
program's
The
over. the end
program
of
is
the year.
over on December 31.
Oh,
So,
It's
so
just a
that
question of whether we
116
want to pay 116 for the next
Through
3 months.
December.
3 months, yeah, it's
Oh.
only 3 months, I'm sorry, Mike.
Wait, how did I miss that?
Yeah, so.
I'm sorry, my fault.
Yeah, so
David.
right here, Mike, the recycling program is ending on December 31, so it's October through December that we would pay the
And they're
116.
kind enough not to pay.
And
you.
they're kind enough to not make us pay
Forgive the
what they
rate
should have
Oh,
been charging
been
us.
charging us.
Yeah.
So if we go.
So we have no choice in that, we don't have an outlet.
Not
for
on
our
January
recycling.
1st, that's correct.
Correct.
Then we're done.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, oh,
Well,
I'm
the
sorry.
decision now is whether we want to,
No,
for the remainder of the year, whether we want to.
That's right,
I
and
want
so.
those brain cells back.
My only thing on, so I understand we're not gonna be able to do it on January 1st.
Right.
Okay, so
Between
that's
now and
fine,
then.
but between now and then, do we pay the higher number to transition, or do we just do all
No,
trash?
no.
No,
Okay,
I think we do have to let, obviously, let.
Yes.
yeah,
people
so
know.
now
we do
we
have to let people
need to
know.
let people know.
As of now, no more.
And what do we do about our blue dumpsters?
Well, that's a good question.
Paint 'em green.
We can paint them, we can paint them green, we can leave them blue, and just mark on them that it's all
Regular.
solid waste,
Well-
it's all trash.
Can we get into a different cycle and maybe get some of these dumpsters out of service and save them? Get them out, is there any place to get them out of the weather for a while, for the winter?
No,
Or
Well, no,
tarp 'em-
because
tarp 'em or,
we're still gonna have the same volume. I mean, the trash was
Mhm.
there,
Okay.
whether we're dumping it as trash or
Right.
whether we're,
all
it's all there.
it's all the same. We need the same
We
amount
need
of
the same
containers.
number of.
yeah.
No matter what.
I think we could save a few,
Right.
just here and there and put them aside and we could give them some longevity. No, all right. That's an easier conversation than I thought.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, folks.
No, that's okay.
Just a letter
So,
to the sound.
so we
As of
will,
today.
we will probably do a mailing, a special mailing. I would like to make sure that it's very clear to people before they see us dumping
Right.
stuff into the truck.
I would like some big poster boards made. Remember, as I've said, with the big signs
Yeah.
out there and a plastic bag where they're gonna be weatherproof going. Please note, due to circumstances beyond our control,
Mhm.
the town
No
must, will no longer recycle.
Yeah.
We have no place to dispose of recyclable articles. If you would like to bring them home with you or whatever, because some people are gonna do that.
Oh, yeah?
They're
longer.
gonna-
Well, they'll ask if not this company, what about
Yeah.
another company?
Yeah, it's just,
And there aren't any
Yeah,
companies
there's
doing it
no
because they
other
can't make any
companies.
money.
Because
We,
they're stocking,
we either go all the way down to Rochester, New Hampshire, or we go over to Vermont.
so let's work on the language for these big posters. and
Yes.
so people understand that we have no option.
Right.
It's not,
And the only option is to pay the fee for the next 3 months. or
yeah, but
2
why pay
months.
that for 2 months?
No.
Because they're probably not gonna recycle it anyways, they're gonna probably,
They're trashing it.
well, that's what they were doing in California when the oil prices went down. They were just throwing plastics and burying plastics because it wasn't worth, putting
And I
aside
think the
to.
number went up so much because they were gonna have us dump it in the recycling spot. And then they were gonna pick it up from the recycling spot and carry it over into the landfill. And we were gonna pay for that transfer. I think that's what the 116 was for. So
Yeah.
it's just not
Are
worth
we
it.
gonna do a mailing to the property owners?
Yeah.
I was, yes,
Yes.
that's what I was
What
talking
do we
about.
wanna do with recycling containers? Make nice planters.
We can have big nice planters
Do we
or
want them back,
can
or do we
store
want to let
them,
people have them?
let people keep them.
Or we can say that if you like, leave them outside, we'll collect them. Or you're more than welcome to keep them and use them.
Well, we don't collect them right now.
Or they can bring them, drop them off at town hall.
Oh, yes, to get them back.
Right.
I understand.
They'll end up bringing them home to their,
Yeah. Bring them home
Where
to
they do,
Mass.
yeah.
But I gotta believe that those towns are
they're gonna go
through
through the same thing.
Yeah, but they're too
Yeah.
big. They're gonna,
They're gonna eat it for right now.
they're gonna eat the cost because it's gotten too big down there.
Hmm.
Hmm. Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Board concerns and directives. Anybody have anything new? Who are preaching for something?
No, I have one piece of correspondence for you that I received this afternoon by email.
And we do have another one for, an attaboy to Judy for putting together the flu thing. A lot of
Oh,
people
yes,
got the flu
absolutely. A
shots.
lot of people came to the flu shot clinic this year,
Yeah, yeah.
27.
I think it's
That's
just growing.
like
People now,
double.
they know about it. They'd rather just come over here and get it done than go to home.
We got an email from our friends at the Coalition Committee, Communities for the statewide property tax for education.
Yeah.
The state legislature had a study committee. They attached is the draft report from the study committee. I don't know what it says yet because I literally got it around 2:00 this
Is it
afternoon.
up or down though?
I don't know.
Oh,
I haven't been able to decipher what their mumbo
Are you aware
jumbo
of
is.
that issue, Rich?
No, it's kind of.
This used to be an issue where the most common phrase used for that was called donor towns. Where you would have to, based on certain numbers, towns would either donate money to the school fund that was distributed out based on population.
Yeah,
Or
so,
receive.
so this state
Don't worry, don't.
education, no, right now we're not, okay?
Right.
Not
We
at the
were,
moment.
Right.
at the
We
moment.
were.
Oh.
We were. So this $764,500 here on the tax rate, the way it started, that money was collected by the town and sent to the state in a single check.
Right.
And then they redistributed, so they took the money from all of the communities and they redistributed it from the state back to the needy,
Okay.
property poor school districts. So we, being a property quote unquote rich school district, never got any of that money back. That's the way it was for the first couple of years.
Mhm.
That's $2.33 on the tax rate.
Mhm.
They changed the law so that we could keep that as long as that amount didn't exceed our total budget for the school.
Okay.
Okay, which it doesn't. So we get to keep it right now. I don't know, but I gotta believe that there's some
I'm reading the back
mechanism in
page,
there.
it's not good.
Okay,
The
so,
back page is the
so,
summation.
yeah,
back to
okay,
the
so,
Yeah.
so if the study committee has found that they want us to go back to that, there could be a potentially large impact on.
It was such a flawed system that towns like Ringe or some of these large community towns out
And
were building football stadiums with the surplus they were getting in school funding.
we got $15 million the first year in Rochester
Mhm.
on a $32 million school budget. We got
Pretty good.
$15 million
Yeah.
in excess
So-
funds. So, yeah, it was a pretty good year.
Yeah.
We bought a fire truck.
And what was it, your learning lab?
Yeah.
But yeah, if that happens, it's not good. That's why the debate here on keeping the school open and keeping it closed has always been pegged to the number
Right.
that we've had. So, you know, that's seven.
Just, yeah, exactly. So,
Right, let's
just so you know, it's out there and we'll
Good read.
Something.
be talking.
Anything else in correspondence? All right, privilege of phone number 2.
Yes. We got Jerry again.
Yeah,
Hi, Jerry.
And Jerry, geez, imagine that, our state rep, hopefully.
Isn't he looking like
Yeah.
Butch wearing a Lincoln?
He is, yeah, I know.
Like Butch.
Like,
Butch.
Butch
Butch
is our
Burbank.
chief of police, who's a town manager of Lincoln.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
So you hear our concern about the statewide property tax.
I am. I do have a question about that. When you say
Yeah.
you're taking your rate and sending it to the state, do they prove it or are you just notifying?
We have the option to reduce the rate by using our fund balance.
Mhm.
And what we've decided to do this year is not to take money from our coffers and add it in.
To lower
lower
the
the
rate.
Yeah, but it's still going down anyway,
It's still
Right,
going down.
exactly.
either because of increased property values or decreased expenditures.
Correct.
Not much through our town side, but the state and the county and the education arms
County and
came down,
education is down.
which I don't see happening every year, so.
I'm sorry to hear that it sounds like the state's recycling system market is collapsing, basically.
Well,
It's not just the state, it's.
it's a
everywhere.
commodity market.
It's a commodity.
Yeah, I mean, we've been seeing reports like out of New York City that
Right.
the only thing that they recycle now that brings any money is corrugated cardboard or
Right.
something like that. Everything else, plastic, glass, you know. And I have a place in New York City and, we separate all that stuff, but evidently,
Yeah.
nothing's happening with it, so.
Well, we appreciate you coming down, Terry. Hopefully you'll do well in our election.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It's a hard town to get to know everybody in here. So this is
I'm
my,
gonna keep my comment to myself.
this is my 8th visit here since I got into the campaign.
Yeah.
So.
No, we appreciate you coming down because
Yeah.
our issues aren't unique, but they're just specialized.
Well, hopefully we won't get to the situation where you feel like you have to sue the state to be able to talk to them.
Well, that is one of the, there are two.
That's what the Coalition Communities Group is
Right.
about, is banding. There are 33 towns that were sending excess statewide property tax monies to the state for redistribution. So,
But there are two ballot initiatives that involve the right of someone suing the state.
Right.
And I was just reading a little bit on those. Are you aware of the ballot initiative?
no,
Are you, Jerry?
Somewhat.
1 and 2?
Yeah, I know 2 is about allowing somebody to basically get a Freedom of Information Act disclosure, even if their only standing is that they're a taxpayer. So sometimes they say, look, you have no standing, so therefore you can't, it's not enough to open the books or to get a hold of whatever things you want. And the first is along the same lines, but much more specific. So.
Thanks. Yeah, I think Steve Land wrote in the piece about it.
Mhm.
He suggested letting me know in both of those. But I don't know. Do that. Well, thank you for coming in. Rob, anything for us?
No.
All right.
Mark the access here tomorrow.
Oh, yes. With this project, we're gonna close the door up there. People will be coming in this door and the lower parking lot will be used. So
For
we
just,
sent that out on Nixle. It's on the website. We've sent out
we'll
emails
put it on Facebook.
and we'll
did.
put it on our Facebook page. So should be just one day. He said the area will not be paved until
Yeah.
November
Paving
6th.
date is November 6th unless
He can get it sooner.
you can get it sooner.
But he's planning for November 6th. So it will be dirt out there for a little while.
Next, got a thing from Nixle.
See,
telling
Nixle.
me-
There you go. All right, so can we go into
Right, will
non-public
someone
for a
make that
minute
motion, please?
Move we go into non-public
for a legal matter?
or legal matter.
I second that motion.
All in favor?